Hi my lovelies, welcome back to my channel, and for everybody who is new, I'm Leorah and I'm so glad you found me. Sweeties, today we're going to do a review of this beautiful palette here. This released not too long ago, sweeties. This is... let me show you the So Long and Goodnight palette from V Cosmetics, and this is how she looks. Now this is a 9-pan palette. Of course, as you can see, the color scheme is absolutely beautiful, and I'm going to tell you more, of course, at the end in the review part about all of this. For now, I want to just show you, and I'm as always putting up the pictures on top of me. I want to show you the looks that I have done with this palette, because as you know, I am not fast enough to do so many looks in one video, and I kind of feel like this is just not my thing. So I'm at least going to put the pictures up that I did so you see what I've done with the palette. The first look was a super dark black smoky eye, which was exceptional for me because I really do not use blacks that way, usually black eyeshadows. But anyway, and then I also did a super winged out cut crease, and I did also another one. I tried all the shades in the palette. I went through everything, through some of them several times. I also used the glitter because yes, we do have a pressed glitter here in the palette. I'm also going to speak about the performance of that in a little bit. V Cosmetics is of course a UK based indie brand. It's cruelty free, it's vegan as far as I know. And yeah, I'm super thrilled to try this. So now let's go in the swatches, and I'm going to go row by row like this, okay? So let's just start with these 3 shades. It's going to be swatched on a bare arm. And I have, as always, I have scratches on my skin because, you know, that's my animals. So, but we are very loving of animals here at my house. So they may scratch and behave like animals. Anyway, these are the first 3 shades. Okay, the next 3 shades are 3 shimmers. There we have the black shimmer. We have a red leaning shimmer, but it sort of has a cold undertone. It is, at least like in, I don't know how it comes across on camera, but it is not like a warm, hot fire red, okay? And then we have a silver that I'm also using today on my lid. Okay, the last 3 shades are the black is the blessed glitter. I just cannot say this. The pressed glitter. Then we have another 2 mattes, okay? So let's just see how this performs like that. Better than I thought. Okay, good. And like that. So the white I'm definitely going to build up a little bit so you can see it. It is a good shade. I'm going to talk about this a little bit more at the end because yeah, there is something that I want to say about it. But anyway, this is how it looks. I don't know, it barely shows up because I'm also very fair. Okay, let's be fair because I'm fair. Okay, sweeties, this is the color scheme. Now we're going to go into the creation of this look. You can sit back and watch me work, and I'm going to put some music. I speed it up. It's not going to be boring. Please stick around until the review part that is coming at the end of the video, and without further ado, let's go right into it. sweeties, welcome to the finished look. This is how it turned out. I am actually really happy with the look, besides maybe the eyeliner on this side. I kind of butchered it a little bit. I hope it's not too obvious. So anyway, let's just zoom in a little bit more so you get a bit of a closer look of me butchering my job. Anyway, so that is how it is, and I think it is actually really pretty, and I just really love this whole thing about putting like a weird color of an eyeliner together with a look. And I wish I had more. I wish I had every single color under the rainbow as a gel eyeliner or as any kind of eyeliner, because I'm a bit limited in what I can do here with what I have right now. But that is definitely for me on the horizon, to invest in something like this, because I just so love the effect that it creates. So anyway, you have seen, of course, all the looks that I did in the intro part. You have seen all the looks that I did with this beautiful palette. So of course, this is what we're talking about, the So Long and Goodnight palette from V Cosmetics. And as I told you already, this is a first impression of the brand V Cosmetics for me. I have been looking at this brand and also talking about this brand in my new makeup releases videos for such a long time, you know, and I have also heard from fellow creators that the quality is really good. So what do I think about it? Sweeties, I'm in real awe. I'm in awe. You know, I am. I loved it. I loved every single second. Now, the first look that you saw, which was of course a super black smoky eye, it was maybe not the best thing to do that as a first look, because it just scared the crap out of me. Sorry, because I just rarely do this. I do this like once a year. But with a color scheme like this, I kind of felt like I have to do this, you know, I really do. So I used, of course, all of these colors, and I tried to blend it out with this one, but this shade definitely got swallowed by all the black. But that's just, you know, that is what it is. But I really did enjoy the look. It was just that nobody knows me like this. I don't know myself like this, but still I want to, of course, keep experimenting and doing stuff that I'm maybe also not super comfortable with. So I really enjoyed it though, you know. The performance was very good. It was just the super black patches in my face. I'm not used to that. But anyway, I used it, I wore it together with a very colorful look, so in my clothes, so it sort of balanced each other out, but still it was kind of weird. But performance wise, again, it was really good. Also, when I used the pressed glitter on my lid in this first look, I used it without a glitter glue, believe it or not. And the binder in this is so good that you do not even need a glitter glue. So just saying, you know, I know a lot of people are not into glitters. I personally absolutely do not mind it. I kind of like it because I like sparkles and I like everything that like shines and whatever. So I really enjoyed this, you know. Yeah, then also, of course, the winged out cut crease look, you know. This is where I basically used all of these colors also, and I had this one on the lid, if I remember right, which I also did today, and I really enjoyed that too. The performance was so good, and you know, a look like this takes a long time. If you want it to look professional, it takes a long time of blending and a long time of adjusting and all of that, and I'm very happy to do it. But you know, if the performance is right, it is just a pleasure. It doesn't feel like work, and this is really how it felt for me in that look. Now for today, I used also this shade, and I used it in one of the looks before, and now I'm not 100% sure which one that was right now, but anyway, I used it in a little area before. I'm not so much into white mattes at all. So today I used it here, of course, in the inner part of my crease, and you saw that it is buildable. It does not maybe show up too much. Is it super like opaque or something? I don't think so, but it is buildable. And of course, I'm also a very fair person, so I don't know how this would look on a darker skin tone, but in general, I'm not too much into white mattes, but of course I wanted to use it, and it looks nice. It is super blendable. blendable and everything is good. It's just that personally I'm not super much into this, and that would probably also be the one thing that I would change about the palette, to make this a shimmer instead of a matte. But also this has its justification, and I see why they did it that way. You know, it's not a criticism of a palette, it's just that that would be probably my personal preference, because I usually do not use white mattes at all for anything. That was just really because I wanted to try everything. So I did try everything, and everything worked super well. The mattes are out of this world, out of this world, velvety, beautiful, blendable, buildable, absolutely gorgeous. Also, I was super surprised that none of the reds, or none of everything, stained. None of those shades stained, and especially with the reds I was really concerned. And when I took off all those red shades after my doing my cut crease, I was expecting it. I was absolutely expecting it, and I wouldn't even have a problem with it, because you know, it's part of the deal most of the time. But there was absolutely no staining. I wiped it off and I was like, what? You know, so that was awesome. So if that is an issue for you, you won't have an issue in this. Anyway, I know that this is limited edition, and this is probably not available anymore, and will probably also not come back. But as a brand impression, and I'm just going to assume that the quality of all of their palettes and all of their products in general is similar to this. So I just want to say that I'm pretty sure you will enjoy the formula of this brand. It is very easy to work with. Also, the shimmers are, they're maybe also not the most like super creamy ones, but they are also very nice. And you saw how it went on today. Of course, I just used this one today, but of course in other looks I also used this one and this one. And so basically I tried them all, and they work super well. And also you can build them up, and they are opaque and look beautiful. Now you can use them with a brush. They pick up on a brush nicely, and also of course the glitter you can pick up on a brush, but you have to use a brush like this. You know, let me just show this to you. These are usually the kind of brushes that work best when you're picking up pressed glitter, and it's like a small concealer brush, sort of, you know. Don't try to use a brush like, let's give you this one here. That is like a small packing brush. I used to do that mistake, or make this mistake, sorry, all the time, and I was wondering, why can I not make the glitter work? Why does everything crumble off? Whatever, you know. The second I started to use the right brush, that is when like the game change happened. You know, and when it actually started to really look nice, and when I started to enjoy it. And that is really all the time, sweeties. Don't always believe when you're trying a palette first, or a new brand, don't immediately believe maybe this formula sucks, or this is not good, or whatever. Try different brushes. You know, that is one of the reasons why I do not believe in first impressions. They just do not make sense. For me personally, this is just, you know, people trying to get a quick video up. I do not believe in first impressions. It is absolutely, why would anyone do that? I have been, I don't know, I would say like 80% of the time I have been wrong during first impressions, and I believe with my whole heart that that is the case for a lot of people. And a lot of negative videos that are out there in YouTube land that are first impressions that were like, wow, this is really not a good palette and whatever, is because it is a first impression video. Please try to always have this in mind when you see first impression. I'm not saying you shouldn't watch it, but keep it in mind that it is really just a first impression. I have been so wrong about palettes, sweeties, really. So now I'm a very positive person, and I'm also willing to always go the extra mile and make stuff work for me, because that is what I do. You know, I want my stuff to work. I don't want it to do just a first impression and then put it away because I just believe that it is not a good palette. Now, I'm not talking about this. I'm talking in general now, and sorry for taking this a bit of on a tangent here, but it is just a very important thing for me that we all are clear on this, and maybe like if you just think about it, it might just make sense to you, right? So anyway, back to the palette. So let's talk about this packaging. Of course, this is gorgeous. This is absolutely gorgeous. It also came with a makeup bag and like a greeting card that was also in this design. And I also got a little pigment with it. I'm going to show you in my haul video that is coming up. So anyway, because we're talking just about this today. So this is beautiful. It's cardboard packaging. You have, of course, a nice mirror here that is sort of, you know, the size that it should be. Really, really nice. It's 9 pans. This is one of the 9-pan palettes in my life that I immediately wanted when I saw it. And that doesn't happen a lot. If you just know me a tiny little bit, you know that I am not very drawn to small palettes, and this is definitely a small palette for me. But the fact that I did as many looks as I did with this palette, it's actually amazing, because like it amazed myself, because usually I'm not so much into this, you know. I don't get inspired a lot by small palettes, and for me, like the perfect size of a palette starts with 12 shades and then go to 40. I don't care, you know. But anyway, this was one of the few 9-pan palettes that I immediately wanted, and when I saw what kind of a limited quantity was available, I almost lost it. I felt like this cannot be happening. I cannot not have this palette, you know. This is also, the color scheme is absolutely fabulous and special, and I haven't seen anything like this before in my life, and I'm so glad that my best friend in Europe she stayed online for I don't know how long, because this released on a Friday night, and I cannot be online Friday night because I'm celebrating Shabbat, which is the Jewish holiday during the week, if you don't know. So I cannot be online at that time, and she said, don't worry, sweetie, I'm going to try to get this for you. And she did, and I'm so grateful. And also, you know, just to have this palette, yes, also, but also that I can finally try this brand. They also have other palettes that are so intriguing, more colorful, which is also something obviously very intriguing for me. And this is definitely coming up that I'm going to place another order for other palettes, because it just has to be, you know. I'm just out of this world convinced that this is a good quality. Now, even if you cannot repurchase this, if you wanted to have this, but there are so many other things on their website, and you feel free to check this out, because really, if the quality is anything like this, then this is going to be a very good experience. So anyway, that was that. Is there any, no, there are no dots in the palette. I can't really say that is happening. There was no creasing, there was no fading. Of course, I'm using my eyeshadows always on a good eyeshadow primer. Right now I'm using the one from Sigma, which is called Ignite, I think it's this one. Anyway, that is the one, and I had a very good experience. They are blendable, buildable, I told you already. What else could I say? My favorites in the palette, I can't even say. It is so, like, everything is so beautiful. This one I liked. I also liked this one. I liked it all. You know, the only thing, as I already told you, what I personally would change would be changing this to a shimmer, but that is really it. Besides that, shade range is beautiful. I always pull in a bone color mat in order to blend out my shadows, so I do not have to have a transition shade in the palette at all, and I don't think that should ever be an issue, especially when you have a 9-pan palette. Why should you waste space on a transition shade? Plus, everybody of like a different skin tone or skin color needs kind of a different transition shade, so you cannot possibly ever serve everybody, you know. And I don't think makeup should have that purpose, because transition shades you can put like a, I don't know, like a build your own palette kind of a thing together with your own shades that you always need for all the looks, you know, and then you're safe and you do not have to have this request on a palette. So I think this is actually really a super beautiful palette, and yeah, I'm done gushing. I think this was just amazing, absolutely pleasurable, and I really loved it. So yeah, that is it, sweeties. That was my first impression and the review of this palette. It was not the first impression, but a first impression of V Cosmetics and the review of this palette. I really hope that you did enjoy this and you found this helpful. If so, please subscribe to my channel, because I really love to have you here. This is a place, a very positive place. I'm trying to always find something positive to say and not just trash things or whatever. That is just not me. But I think we also need some positive things, you know, some sparkles and some light in this world, because you know what, it's just dark enough already, you know. So Anyway, I will always tell you the truth, what I think. So I would love you to subscribe and stick around and check out my other videos too. And besides that, of course, let me know your experiences with V Cosmetics, because, you know, if you can give me some advice of other palettes that really worked for you, or other products or lip products or anything, I would be really grateful if you were to tell me, because, you know, this is my first thing of V Cosmetics and I would really like to invest as the time goes on in more stuff from V Cosmetics. So that is it for today. Of course, you will find everything else that I have on my face, also everything else that you need to know, my social media and everything else, discount codes, whatever I have is in the description box down below. And I will see you here tomorrow for my next video. And up until then, definitely go ahead and sparkle. Hugs and kisses. Bye.